So is everybody all excited about the big speech tonight?
You bet.
On white supremacy and systematic racism?
Yeah, it'll be a very unifying speech. And also raising taxes but only on the rich. We're going to raise taxes not on you and not on me. We're only going to raise them on the man behind the tree. I didn't make that rhyme very well, but that's an old joke. Did you know, I'm just looking at a story here in the Wall Street Journal, the top 1% of the income tax, of the income earners pay 41% of state income taxes in New York, 37% in New Jersey, 50% in California paid by the top 1%. So in the interest of fairness, they're going to double the capital gains tax, and they're going to increase the top marginal rate back up to basically 40%. But it's only on rich people. It won't affect you. Just like ending the Keystone XL pipeline and stopping fracking leases on federal land, that's not going to affect you either. You pay no attention to the fact that the gas prices are up 35% in the last 3 months. It's not. It won't affect you. It's for the good of the planet, and it's for the good of the victims of systemic racism and imperialism and colonialism and transphobism and all the other isms and phobias.
Lovey, of course I told Iran about Israel's defense. As climate czar, I've determined the only way to reduce Israel's carbon footprint is to have it wiped off the face of the earth. Surely that should get me a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, he is still campaigning. I think maybe finally now he's given up his presidential ambitions. But he would still like a Nobel Prize for anything, even for being a gigolo. That's the one thing he deserves a Nobel Prize for. He is probably the world's most successful gigolo. Gigolos usually strike once, and that's it. John Kerry struck twice, and really, really big money. Julia Thorne, about $300 million, and then Mama T, Teresa Hines, $800 million. The CHUMPLINE is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week, recalling the wise words of Martin Lamazny, the Mahatma of the West End of Boston. Never write if you can speak, never speak if you can nod, never nod if you can wink. To which we would offer the following addendum: don't ever, ever, ever tweet.
Do not try to adjust your sets, America. The image of the president is real. And it's live, honest.
Yeah, I assume he'll get more viewers than the Academy Awards did the other night, but that's only because it's going to be a roadblock viewing. It'll be on every channel.
What time is he speaking?
How the hell do I know?
I thought you were keeping tabs on this sort of thing.
I told you I haven't turned on the TV to see what the countdown clock says. I assume it's 9 o'clock, right?
Well, that's pretty late for Joe.
It is pretty late. I would assume
days the lid is called at 2 p.m.
I would assume he's grabbing a power nap right now. Probably Major's lying on his bed, and there's Secret Service agents standing by to make sure he doesn't grab Major's tail when he wakes up.
This just in, the CDC recommends continuing to wear your seatbelt even when you're outside of your car.
I know where that guy stole that from. That was in the Babylon Bee today, but it's still a pretty funny line.
I think when the town was considering changing the name of its school mascot from a Native American, it would be appropriate to rename it the Screaming Karens.
That would be good. I don't think Screaming Karens would fit for Wakefield, especially now that they voted to retain the logo of the Indian chief. But Screaming Karens might be a good mascot for many towns, including the one I live in, actually.
Howie, tonight's speech will always be known as the State of Delusion address.
Yeah, they're really excited too. The mainstream media that they're going to be two women sitting behind them, and they're both from San Francisco, California. That tells you all you need to know. Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. Jay from Chelsea says the reviews are already in for the speech tonight. A+, 5 stars. A+, 5 stars. Better than Trump ever did. Better than Trump could ever do. He brought America together. It was a healing address. He brought closure to the 4-year nightmare that was the Trump administration.
9 p.m. tonight.
Thank you, Dementia Joe.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
That means I have some time to pregame.
Are you really going to watch it, Taylor?
It's kind of my job, isn't it?
It is, but God gave us the internet, and it saves us a lot of work that we used to have to do in this biz.
But then I'll miss, a misstep by Joe, or some sort of stupid thing he said, and you'll say, Taylor, why didn't you get that? Well, that was because I didn't watch the speech last night.
I know. Well, I will be up tomorrow morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I will be scrolling up and down the internet trying to find all of the bloops and malaprops and stutters and botched numbers. But if you, I appreciate your eagerness to watch the speech. That's a good sign, Taylor.
I never showed any eagerness.
Well, your willingness, let me put it that way.
Yes.
Joe Biden is scheduled to make a speech to the swamp on the take. Only questions I ask, will he wear a mask? And will man rip up the speech for old time's sake?
Oh, that's a good point. Somehow I don't think the speech will be ripped up tonight. I think she'll be genuflecting after the speech in her in her delirium as to how great it is.
100 days, over 50 executive orders, $8 trillion in federal spending, and a crisis at the border, but not a sniff of a scandal.
How about a scandal at the gas pump? I think that's a pretty much of a scandal, totally unnecessary, wasn't it? Maybe there was a reason for it to go up a little bit, the prices, because they were surely very low. But did they have to go up 35%? And as Al Jolson said in The Jazz Singer, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Howie, Joe Biden calling. Come on, man. I'm so excited for tonight. I get to sit next to Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill while President Harris gives the state of the you know the thing. What? I have to give the speech? Oh, I better rest up and have a big bowl of spaghetti first. Thank gosh Hunter left behind his bag of Parmesan cheese. I mean it.
This is Jen Psaki talking about how Biden has been preparing for this for weeks. Biden has been preparing for this, I repeat, for weeks. Cut one.
But I can tell you that the president has been working on this speech for the last few weeks. He has been preparing with Senior Advisor Mike Donnellan, Director of Speechwriting Vinay Reddy, working on the speech. And really over the last several days, he's been line editing it, meeting with his speechwriters, getting advice and counsel from senior advisors, checking in with members of his family. And also as part of his process, he engages with his policy teams to ask for additional details, ask for further clarification.
I'm going to call BS on that entire 31-second peroration.
Charlie Parker calling. All my friends conducted a survey, and they all agree that outdoors is different than indoors. It may have to do with the doors, but I'm skeptical. So I asked my friend the fisherman for a second opinion.
I've been talking to the folks. You know, I like to put on my white coat before I talk to the folks at the Department of Public Health. They've stopped, they have more time to work on the virus now that they've stopped falsifying tens of thousands of criminal drug tests.
If Liveshot was right wing, he'd be tried for treason.
Absolutely.
And everyone would say for good reason. But he works for plugs, so all we'll get is shrugs. After all, harming America is now in season.
Amen. That's a very good limerick there, limerick guy. It's so true. I mean, he would look what they did to Mike Flynn, the general. He had a legitimate conversation with the Russian ambassador on a phone that they knew was being monitored, and they basically tried to destroy him, not just put him in jail, put his son in jail, run up his legal bill so he had to sell one of his houses. They destroyed him because he worked for Donald Trump. Now, 4+ years later, they're going to do the same thing, or they're going to try to do the same thing to Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. It's the same thing they did to George Papadopoulos. They tried to do it to Carter Page. They are men of unsleeping malevolence.
That was your last CHUMPLINE message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
That's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, as long as it's between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. If you want to hear more Chump Line messages that didn't make the air just now, you can listen to Chopped Chumps. We post them every evening around 7 o'clock after the show. You can get Chopped Chumps wherever you get your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week, remembering the wise words of Martin Lamasny, the Mahatma of the West End. Never write if you can speak. Never speak if you can nod. Never nod if you can wink. To which we would offer the following addendum. Don't ever, ever, ever tweet.
100 days, over 50 executive orders, $8 trillion in federal spending, and a crisis at the border, but not a sniff of a scandal.
No, indeed. And still no report from John Durham, the special counsel investigating the Russian collusion hoax. Where is John Durham? I'm going to look up my milk carton tonight to see if his picture has been posted yet. I'm Howie Carr.